Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Bus Drivers Are Out podcast with your host, me, Brian Cohen. We are now 6 episodes into the challenge creation, so things are really starting to heat up. This week, we lost one of the strongest female competitors, maybe even of all time, Camila, and I had the opportunity to speak with her to talk about her time on Free Agents and some of her bigger moments from her challenge career. So before I get to all that, let me just first remind you to follow me on Twitter, at BusDriversRoute. Go to busdriversroute.com and subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, let me just get straight down to it. So here is Camila. All right, so before we kind of jump into this season of Free Agents, I just wanted to kind of take a step back and find out how you joined the challenge circuit, because you kind of have a very unique way that you joined through the Spring Break Challenge. So how did you kind of join, how did the casting work for the Spring Break Challenge? How did MTV find out about you? How did you reach out to them?
Pretty much I was going to school at the University of Nebraska, and my friend worked with Student City, so he asked me if I wanted to go, and MTV was going to be there, and he asked if I wanted to go for, really cheap, because Student City was going to cover some of the stuff, because MTV was going to be there. So I said, okay, $500 to go on spring break, everything covered, let's do it. So I went on spring break, and I didn't even know that this whole MTV thing was real. I didn't know anything about MTV at the time. I didn't even have cable. So I go there, and then we did this mini spring break challenge that Student City and MTV were doing. And then from that, MTV saw me, and I got a call a month later, and they were asking me if I wanted to be on the challenge, which was Cutthroat. And I didn't even know what it was. I had never watched one before. So I just said, okay, what do I have to do? They're like, well, you're going to go, somewhere crazy, and you're going to participate in the challenges. And I was like, okay, call me in. And that was it.
Well, and
after that, it's history.
Yeah, it's amazing because you've been on, I'm pretty sure, every one since Cutthroat. So did you think that was a possibility that once you did Cutthroat, you'd be just popular amongst everyone, that you'd keep it?
No, I had no idea. Honestly, I didn't know at all what I was getting myself into. Once I showed up at the airport, everyone thought that I was PA, an assistant. Everyone's like, who are you? And I'm this 5'2" girl walking in, nobody knows me, I barely speak English. And everyone's just like, are you a new assistant? What's going on? But yeah.
Yes,
I think my story.
I think the thing people love about you the most is your just unfiltered passion that you show in each of your seasons, and that has brought 2 of kind of the biggest moments the series has seen since your arrival. And I just wanted to kind of touch on 2 of them. The first was the iconic moment from Battle of the Exes with you had with Johnny Bananas. So
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No idea what you're talking about, right? Yeah. So now that a few years has passed since that, are you able to kind of look back on that as kind of laugh at it, or is that still kind of just a painful memory for you?
Now I laugh at it. 100% I laugh at it. I've laughed at it with Johnny Bananas, and I've laughed at it with everyone that was there. It was a crazy night. People don't understand how crazy this environment is that we're on, and then you add alcohol to it, and then you add the fact that I didn't even know how to handle my alcohol, obviously. I never drank before. I started drinking all the challenges, and so I would only pound shots, and then there was a switch, from out of nowhere, I'd be drunk. And then Johnny Bananas knew how to get under my skin, and, I just went crazy Latina style on him, and, now I laugh at it because that doesn't happen anymore. And it's just, what are you going to do? We can't erase the past, and quite honestly, I wish that didn't happen, especially on national television, but at the same time, I'm not one to regret anything, because if that hadn't happened, I probably wouldn't have to learn I wouldn't have understood that I need to learn how to control my alcohol. Yeah. So it was a lesson learned for me. Unfortunately, it was on national television, but hopefully it inspired other people to, change as well.
Yeah, and you definitely had a large growing experience throughout, from Cutthroat all the way now. You're definitely much more mature and calmer person, but still that same Camila passion that we love. So that's good, always good to see. And the other moment I wanted to discuss was the moment where, and at least for me, and I think many others really became a huge fan of yours, when Big Easy quit on you in the Battle of the Seasons elimination, and it showed how much just the game and competing meant to you. And, maybe went a little far in some of the things you said, but I didn't think it was that bad for you. So, kind of looking back on that moment, what's the relationship between you and Big Easy now after all that? Like, do you regret that, or do you stand by everything you said at that time?
To be quite honest, I haven't talked to Big Easy. I have no interest in talking to him or speaking to him, really. Like, just in general, like, I don't think he's just not a person that I want to be. I don't know. I don't need him in my life, and I'm sure he doesn't need me in his. But as far as the show goes, quite honestly, I didn't even watch that episode because what happened there, I know I said things that it was completely out of impulse, and honestly, and this might sound like an excuse, but it's not, because I don't know, like, having to have English as your second language, sometimes you will say things that don't mean what they mean, if that makes any sense.
No, I got you.
Some words, certain expressions are like, they come out, and to me, they don't mean, you know, like, as deep and as strong as they probably mean to a person that is their first language.
Right.
So many things that I will say in English, I don't say ever in Portuguese, you know, and that's part of, like, an impulse thing. So I do take back some things that I was told I said to him, but that moment was a very hard moment for me because I was giving it my complete all, and he was very selfish, and he did not think at all about me, about what we had been through. I don't even think he thought about himself at that moment. So that was just a hard moment for me to accept.
Yeah.
You know, like, the fact, because I would never do that to anybody that I'm partnered with. You know, especially when if I'm by myself, like, even on free agents, like, I can do whatever I want because I'm not putting anyone else's future on the line.
Exactly.
And he just put mine on the line. And he didn't care about it. He didn't apologize for it. He was actually the one swearing and cursing at me first. I'm not sure if they show that. And that's when I started, you know, talking back to him. But
that's why I didn't have a problem with it, because it's not like he was just doing it for him. Like, he was taking you down with him. So, I mean, you didn't show any remorse towards you about feeling bad. Just, that's why I had no problem with anything that you said to him that night. Now, I think a lot of people agree with me. So.
Yeah, but any kind of, like, personal insult, like, that is not me. That's not something that I do, you know, like, that's not something that I like to do, and that is definitely not something that I want to be perceived as, because I have nothing but love for other people, and I always try to see the good in them no matter what. And Big Easy was one of those people. He came to me all the time throughout the show, and I was that one person that he cried to. You know, like, he would have so many ups and downs, and one time he's like, we can do it. And the next minute he's like, I can't do this, I suck. And I'm, like, always trying to talk him out of that mentality. And for him to just do that to me and throw me under the bus like that, it was hard. It was hard for me, so.
Yeah. So jumping ahead now to this season, is an interesting fact that of all the girls, you were the only one who has ever won the show before this season. So,
yeah,
but
that's
a lot
crazy.
of the talk going in was about Laurel, about this was her time, and then even Cara Maria now as blossomed as a strong competitor. So did you think that you were kind of being overlooked a little bit going into the season?
I do, a little bit. I don't know. Honestly, my feelings were pretty neutral. Like, I usually don't care what anybody thinks or what people in the house think, or, you know, like, before the season starts, people try to build alliances. They try to do whatever they can to win, and usually I just go in. Yeah. I don't try to build alliances. I don't try to do anything. I just go in and I live the moment. And that this season was actually a very hard moment for me in my life because my father had just passed away about a month before I went on the show. And I actually said no. So I knew for a fact I wasn't mentally there for this game. And I said no to MTV multiple times, but, you know, it was the Challenge 25th anniversary. And I didn't know that, but they were very persistent. Then after I knew it was the anniversary, it made sense as to why they were so persistent. But so I ended up going before I even went back to Brazil, my home country, to see my dad's grave.
Yeah.
So it was I felt the whole time that I was there very selfish. I felt like I didn't belong there. Like, every day I would think, why am I here? What am I doing here? I should be with my family. And then I would just try to forget about it and be like, well, I am here, so let's just do this.
Yeah, because it did kind of seem like throughout even just this episode of the season that you just had like a very kind of just grim spoke about you, that it wasn't the same bubbly Camila that we're used to seeing. So hearing that, fortunate news kind of seemed to add up about kind of seeing why you weren't maybe yourself throughout this season.
Yeah, it was a hard one for me. I wasn't there. I didn't care what people said. I didn't care, like, once they said it was free agents, I was actually happy. While most people, like even the strongest competitors, were all scared because it's like, oh my God, now we can't use alliances. I was actually glad because it was at least going to throw some fun into the game for me because, at least it was like a little twist to keep me like looking forward for something because that was not my game.
Yeah. And then in the elimination with Teresa, who happened to get her first win of her career, what do you think kind of just went wrong? Was it just a case of her kind of just being hungrier to get her first win and move on than you? Was that just, or did she just get the best of you that time?
No. I chose to let go of that rope when I chose to let go of that rope. I could have sat there. I mean, that elimination, it was pure just don't let go. Mm. It was about who let go first. You know what I mean? Like, she was not pulling me anywhere. I don't care how big she is. She was not pulling me anywhere. Like, I wasn't moving. I wasn't getting out of there. It was hard for me to pull her too because that's just hard. That's the game. But even on the Cara Maria elimination against Naya, Cara Maria wasn't going to win unless Naya let go. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's a weird situation with the rope being, like, zigzag like that. It's almost impossible for someone to pull the other person unless you have, like Jordan, amazing momentum right away, and you just go directly to the bell. But, I mean, I don't see Teresa necessarily as a weak competitor. She's a big girl, but I don't see her as stronger than me. I think that if I had my head in the game and I was determined to win, I could have definitely won. And I don't see it as I lost to Teresa. I mean, I literally lost it. That's a fact. I lost the game. I lost. But it was more of a decision.
Okay. And one of the other big themes from this season has been just the brewing storm between Jordan and Johnny Bananas. Now, I know you and Bananas are very tight, but, you were once in Jordan's position as being kind of the upstart youngster trying to go up against a veteran. So where did you kind of side in that kind of dynamic? Did you understand where Jordan was coming from, or did you think he was kind of being a little too brash too early on?
Man, Jordan and I have had our differences, since the beginning, since he first showed up. We had our own differences. We had big arguments because we're almost like the same person, like we're both Virgos, we both speak our mind, and a lot of the times we don't think before we say it. Mm-hmm. Except Jordan usually tends to have a plan behind what he says, and I think that his whole plan was to antagonize Johnny Bananas. And it worked. It definitely worked, because Johnny Bananas is one to always think he can say whatever he wants to people, but he can never take it. That's just part of who Johnny Bananas is. And Jordan, I mean, I don't have a side, to be honest. I think they're both stupid right now for just, being like that to each other instead of, I don't know, just proving it. Don't talk, just go and show it. Just go and prove yourself. Don't talk, like too much talk doesn't do anything. So I stand with that. But Jordan is trying to, make a big case of like, oh, Johnny Bananas, you talk a lot of game, but this time you don't have your alliances to back you up, and trying to make a point that Johnny only won in the past because of his alliances. But I guess we'll see throughout the seasons. I guess I want to see it. I don't care about what they have to say. I want to see them go head to head.
Absolutely, guys. Show it on the field, and it should be happening fairly soon. So I know we're all looking forward to it. So you actually were able to stay away from a lot of the kind of the big fighting, but the one instance from this season was you and CT got into it. And I got to talk to you about this because me and my friends are still trying to determine what exactly happened to you. So why were you and CT fighting overall? We know he was upset over the bar tab, but then how did you get involved? How did that start? We were hoping you could.
Okay, well, that was the dumbest fight ever on planet Earth on the history of fights. Because it literally didn't have any base. It had no solid base at all from anybody. Pretty much, CT was really pissed because he spent a lot of money and then he was mad, which it really wasn't a lot of money. It was just the currency change. So he was just being, I don't think they're showing up on the show how when CT gets drunk, he gets like, think Camila crazy times 3, okay? Because he's 3 times my size, so it's just that much scarier.
Right.
And so that's what CT was doing. And me and Nani were fine. We were in a mindset of let's just have fun. If we had one too many tequila shots together.
Mm-hmm.
And we were sitting outside, and CT was smoking, and Nani went to smoke with him. And we usually all sit outside. Like, I don't smoke, but I'll always be around them, and like we can chit chat, whatever. And that's what we were doing. And me and Nani were trying to calm him down and just be like, hey, it's okay, it's all good. And out of nowhere, CT just started like bashing us, just like to Nani. He started bashing Nani, and just going to our personal life, like, shut the fuck up, you don't even know, like this and that. And then Nani started to yell at him, and I started to defend Nani, and then he started to attack me. And that's when they showed that one scene where Nani's like, Camila, let's just walk away. And as I'm walking away, I tell him that. And that's the only thing they show. Like.
So then how did it morph to you and Nani almost going to blows?
Exactly. So pretty much after all of that, I am the kind of person that don't hold me back. Like, people tend to hold me back. I am not one to hit anybody. I've never hit a soul. Like, I will yell at you, I'll scream, I'll throw shit, but I won't touch anybody. Like, everyone knows this. Like, I wouldn't. And what pisses me off and drives me really, really crazy, even on like Rivals 2, is when I'm trying to speak my mind or say something to somebody, even if it's to their face, and someone starts to hold me back. That is the worst thing that you can do. That if you want Camila Nader to come out, just do that. And that's when Nani started doing. And it just turned into like, why are you holding me back? I'm not trying. I'm just trying to defend you. And she's just holding me back. But when you're in a drunk mindset, it's like, why the hell are you holding me back? Like, and then we started fighting. It was just the dumbest thing ever. Literally, there was zero base for the fight. Like, there was no reason. Like, the next day, we're both like, we are two idiots, because we didn't even know what we were necessarily apologizing for besides just looking like two idiots on national television.
And then we saw Cara kind of come up to you and kind of call you out a little bit for blowing up like this every season, though. What did you think about her doing that?
And that's another thing. Cara Maria, I like Cara Maria. Cara Maria is like the little sister. She's like the little girl that has no filter. If you guys think I have no filter, Cara Maria has zero filter, but they just don't show that part of her. She will say the stupidest shit sometimes, and she will offend people in very deep levels that I don't even think she realizes it. Okay? So Cara Maria, apparently, I didn't know this until that day, had a very serious problem with me. The whole argument of her with me, it wasn't just what they showed. That was the very end of the conversation. Cara Maria started yelling at me, pretty much like, you don't remember what happened, did you? I was like, I actually do remember parts of it, but why are you upset? And she's like, because it's not fair that you get to do whatever you want. Camila gets to do whatever Camila wants. Camila gets to be late. Camila gets to wake up whenever she wants. And I do everything on time. And I do this on time. And I do everything MTV tells me to do. I don't ever go against MTV. And Camila can do whatever she wants. That was the fight about. And to me, that's pathetic and that's sad. Because this is called a reality TV. And I am real. I am sorry, Cara Maria, if you have no personality and you're trying to be someone you're not just to get more ratings or to be nice or so that you can get MTV to do whatever you want. I don't play that game. I'm just me. If I don't like something, I will say it to you, to MTV, to whoever it is, it has to be. I will say it. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? That's me. And that's when I had the issue with her. Because I told her, I was like, Cara, I have cared for you so much throughout every season we've been together. You have been always saying mean shit about me on TV, and I always talk to you directly about it when I have an issue. You've never apologized, and that's okay. I accept you for who you are. You know, I accept you with your flaws. I like you for who you are. we're not perfect. Nobody is perfect, and we all have flaws, and I have mine. But to know that you take every single one of my flaws against me instead of trying to be a friend to me like I have done to you, that just hurts me, and I don't think, like, you're just missing out on a good friend because that's not a friend to me. So that's what the whole thing was. But they only showed the part about her talking about me and Nani, but that's not what the conversation started like.
Okay. Well, we all love the way you call people out on their bullshit and don't take anything from anyone. So don't let her get to you. Don't ever change on these shows. We love you just the way you are.
Well, thank you. I mean, I'm me, and I'm not gonna change for any TV show, for anything. I don't plan things before I go on this show. I don't, like, try to cause drama. Drama sometimes happens. What are you gonna do?
So looking back on your long challenge career now, other than your win in Battle of the X's, what has been kind of your favorite memory of all the challenges you've done?
Man, one of my favorite memories. My favorite, it has to be winning Battle of the X's, man. That was a great season. Regardless, even without the win, there were some fun people on that season that if I ever had to pick a cast, that would be it all over again.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you never forget your first challenge, like being on Cutthroat. I think my first elimination, I think that's very memorable for me because that was the day that I was no longer just some random girl. I was Camila.
You earned your stripes.
Exactly. So to me, that's a memorable moment.
Okay. And are you going to be? We hope the answer is yes. But are you doing more of these, or is this?
I'm not. I don't know. We will see. We'll see what life brings.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a lot of projects I'm working on outside the shows, and I mean, I love the challenges, and they have opened so many doors for me, and I'm so thankful. But I don't know, maybe it's time to move on to bigger things.
Okay. I saw you were giving away a signed jersey on your website, right?
Yes, I'm announcing the winner tomorrow, actually. I did a contest. I launched my website, which it's half launched. It's not nearly ready yet, but I wanted to do something before, I left the show.
Mm-hmm.
So I launched it, but we're still going to be doing lots of updates to it. So it's CamilaWorld.com, and I'm going to be doing contests, actually, every Thursday night. So every challenge night, there'll be a new contest with different things. But, yeah, I'm giving away my jersey, and I'm announcing the winner tomorrow, so it's super exciting. And I'm also giving away just some of my favorite things to second and third place. And, yeah, so I'll be tweeting about it tomorrow all day.
All right, great. It was really great to get a chance to talk to you. Where can everyone find you on Twitter so we can keep up with you?
Twitter, it's at Camila MTV, Camila with one L, CAMILA, MTV, and that's my Instagram, and that's my Facebook. So, very easy.
Very easy. Fantastic. All right, it was really great to chance to talk to you. Hopefully, you're going to do another one of these in the future so we get to see you again, but if not, you've really had a good run here.
Yes, and also another thing, I don't know if you're familiar with Beamly.
Yes, I am, actually.
Yes, I'm opening an account today, so by tomorrow I should have an account so you can send people there. They can ask questions or come talk to me or whatever.
Yes, absolutely. Beamly,
okay.
Good app. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Camila, good talking to you.
Thank you. You
All right,
too.
have a
Bye.
good one. Bye. There it is. The Bus Drivers Are Out podcast for episode 6 of the Challenge Free Agents is in the books. Hope you enjoyed hearing from Camila. I certainly hope we get to see her again in the future. She would be sorely missed if she left. And before I wrap things up for today, let me just remind you once again to follow me on Twitter at BusDriversAreOut. Go to BusDriversAreOut.com and subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, that will do it for me. So until next time, have a good one.